Okay, so in this short video, I'm going to show you a real quick way to kind of change the content of a computer screen in an image using Photoshop. So what you're going to want to do is first open up the image that you have, the image with the computer screen that you want to change, as well as the screenshot or the image that you want to put into that computer screen. So let's go back to our image. The first thing that you want to do is basically get rid of what's on the screen to begin with. So the easiest way to do that is just to go over here to your quick selection tool. You can use the quick selection tool pretty easily for this because the computer screen is likely pretty different in terms of kind of exposure, and it's defined by these pretty distinct straight lines. So you can kind of just drag across, and that'll pretty much perfectly select your screen and only your screen. You can kind of, if you're really nitpicky, you can zoom in and make sure you've got everything and kind of play around with that. But I mean, this looks pretty good. So um, yeah, so that's good enough. And then from there, you can just hit delete. Um, and then oh, sorry, before you do that, you'll want to uncheck the lock. So this is no longer your quote unquote background layer, so that it's just layer 0. And now you have the screen selected, and then you can hit delete. So that's now basically just an empty space in your image, and you can hit Command D to deselect, so that you now just have nothing in your image selected, and you now just have um, image of someone wearing with a computer screen, or your image with your computer screen with an empty screen. Next, what you want to do is move on over to your screenshot, and you're actually going to want to drag this, come up to the top uh, tab bar here, and drag this out so you're putting it into a separate window. Um, Move this over so you can see it beside this one. Go back to your main image, resize your window so that you can see the second one, your screenshot. Click and drag your screenshot over into the window with your photo, and then it'll ask you if you want to import this. You're gonna click yes and OK, and now you have this. You'll see over here you now have a layer 1, which is just your screenshot. So next you're gonna try and position this. It helps if you zoom in. Position this approximately in line um, with the corners so that it's within the screen. Um, so you've got your image in here. You're going to put it approximately in the middle of the screen, and then go up to Edit, Transform, and Distort, and then click the corners of your computer screen and line them up with the corners of the computer, like so. It's okay if you overlap a little bit, because then it's better to make sure you cover the entire space than to make sure that the entire screen shows up in the screen area. And then so once you have that, you want to drag layer 1. Oh, sorry, and then you have to accept, and then you're going to want to drag layer 1 down so that it's underneath your image layer, so that there's um, your whole screen is filled, and you don't have your screenshot overlapping it against the outside, because that'll kind of look bad and obviously fake. So next, what you want to do, so this looks okay, but you can kind of tell that this screen is not really what's supposed to be on that screen. So you're going to need to do something to make it look like the screenshot you just put into this computer looks like it's really there. And so an easy way to do that is just to come down here to your adjustments layers, click Add New Filler Adjustment Layer. A really easy way to do, because this computer doesn't have a whole lot of reflection, it's not a very reflective computer, you can just add a solid layer. I would choose white, click OK, put that layer between your photo and your screenshot, and you'll see right now it just kind of replaces everything with your screenshot with a white screen. But if you come over to the opacity, bring that down a bit, let's say around 25%, looks okay. And so that you can tell now it kind of looks more like that's really on the screen. It looks like it, but it still looks kind of fake. And if you looked at the original image, which is in here, you'll notice there's a bit of a kind of a gradient. So what I've done, or what I will do here, is actually we'll get rid of this color layer, and then we'll add another adjustment layer. We're going to click on a gradient. We're going to choose. I've played around. You'll need to play around to make sure you get the right one. I figured out that using a reflected at around that angle. I kind of like that scale because you've got looks like a good gradient. Click OK. That's pretty washed out, and you don't really want that, so you can then bring the opacity down a bit. I kind of like it here at around 50%. I might change the angle a bit of that. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so maybe we'll bring up the opacity a little bit more. Yeah, and so there you go. You have yourself a new computer screen.